Hi, and welcome back to Talking with Felicia. On today's show, we're going to be talking to Christal Johnson, who's the director and the founder of the Achievers Club and other organizations that she'll be talking to us about. But the special thing about today's show, it is not just one show. It's going to be two shows. We have a two-parter because Christal Johnson and her group of students worked on their own music video. So I'd like to introduce Miss Christal Johnson to Talking with Felicia. Thank you so much for coming. So tell us about the clubs and organizations that you're part of and the video that you guys did.
Well, we're in 4 schools. The first school that we started out was Arroyo Seco Junior High School, and we decided to have the name of the club, the Achievers Club.
I like that.
And just, you know, kids, students achieving different things that they have never been challenged against before. And we ended up this year being in Valencia High School and Saugus High School, and we're looking to get into Bowman High School as well. And I originated this program, started on an organization I had a long time ago, back in 2001, called Kids on the Right Path. And I decided to put these organizations into the schools to bring the kids back to moral values. Respect and teaching them the things that, you know, they're supposed to be doing.
So when you decided to do this, what path did you decide to take? Did you go through the schools or did you go through the students? I mean, how did you think that the students was going to respond to you and being an Achievers Club and what that meant? Because a lot of students, we go, here's a book, learn, and you can't just, you have to lead them through it. You got to go, this is point A, point B, and point C. What did you do to make your organization where it's at today to make a video?
I got involved with the kids. I interacted with the children. Of course, I consulted the schools first and told them about my program and what our program was about and what we were trying to accomplish. And bringing kids back to the basics of behavior, you know, positive child behavior is very difficult because you lose the focus like in the first 5 minutes.
I know, but how do you respond to parents? How does that help you when you have parents who may not discipline their children the way they should be disciplined because they're, so to speak, there's no book. You know, you become a parent and you discipline the way you learned or the way you watch somebody, and it's hard to try to grasp on getting a child disciplined to learn how to behave in school, behave in home, behave in public. So you're trying to say that your organization was trying to give kids something they were missing at home or getting at home, but you just was making it even bigger than it was.
I was really being an extended hand.
Honestly, I like that. Extended hand to the parent. Here's a helping hand. You do it, but I'm going to help you even with that. Okay, I like that.
You know, and basically, they're like the kids that are in my, you know, group right now, they got good parents. But even with good parents, we need help.
Everybody needs help.
Because we can't do it 24/7, you know, when our kids are away from school. A lot of times you really don't know what they're doing, what they're saying, how they're acting or whatever. So my thing is just to bring an awareness to the students and bring an awareness to the parents that we can't give up on trying.
No, you can never give up on trying. Parent. You know, they say that it takes a village to raise children.
And it does.
And I totally believe it takes a village. So tell me more about this Listen video. Where did you come up with the title Listen? Because nobody listens, especially kids.
Well, that's the key right there, is that it just came up in me one day to, you know, I just, with my own kids, they don't listen.
But if I was a kid and somebody said, oh, come on, I'm going to do a music video called Listen, I'm really going, oh, yeah, sure. How did you get them to say, yeah, I'm going to do this video because I'm really going to listen to it?
Because I made it fun. I met the kids where they were at. I got the kids that were interested in the performing arts, basically. The ones that like to dance, the ones that like to sing, the ones that like to act. And I put it into a song, and I put it into I had a professional choreographer that did the dance steps in hip hop. All the kids, and our young generation right now love hip hop.
Oh, they in love with hip hop.
So we put it into that type of flavor, and
oh, I like that. You get slang. She put in that type of flavor. I like that.
And we just brought it to the kids that way. Hey, you guys want to be on a music video? Because they have a lot of dreams and, you know, aspirations that they want to do something in that area one day. You'd be surprised, the kids that, and this is California.
We are in La La Land, so who doesn't want to be a big star,
Yeah.
walk the red carpet, wear a beautiful dress?
Right.
Speaking about red carpet, we will be getting back to the red carpet footage that I took at your big event, which is fabulous. But what I want to know is, when you were doing the video, were the kids actually listening?
Not 90%. Probably they had fun. I really don't want to. Some of them didn't, but that's
we gotta get real here.
Yeah, that's to be expected. But I didn't have any trouble off of them, and the ones that gave me a hard time, basically, you won't see them in the video.
That means that they're on the editing room floor.
I mean, they just didn't make it through the program.
Oh, wait a minute, program. So it's a whole program that you put them in to be in the Achievers Club or to be in the video?
Absolutely. What we do is we teach on the basic fundamentals of listening and learning, and we have like 12 steps that we deal with.
Oh, like 12-step program.
Yeah.
Now, we all know 12-step programs are always fabulous programs, so it's nice to see that the 12-step, it can be used other than using drugs and alcohol, can be used in a positive way, which it's always been used in a positive way, but a different spin on it for getting kids to listen, getting kids to behave, knowing that school's important, and following your dreams. That's what's important.
Absolutely. And listening is just one aspect of the whole thing.
So let me give you a couple of your 12 steps.
Okay, well, the first one is listen. The second one is going to be called obey, but then someone said, don't call it obey because you're going to scare the kids away. So we're going to call it open. And so it's open your mind and obey. That's going to be the second music video. And the third one is going to be talking back.
Woo, that's a big one.
and then we're going to deal with the tone of voices.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
And
so your 12 steps is actually 12 different videos relating to everything you're saying now.
Right. We are actually acting them out because children are visual. And
extremely.
And everything is the video games, the video shows online or on TV, whatever.
Texting.
Absolutely.
So visual,
so
texting.
Everything. And so you have to so they want to do these things. And what better way to get them
to go where they're at?
And go where they're at. Absolutely, and get them to listen. So it brought an awareness to the kids, and they're enjoying it. It's a fun way of disciplining them. It really is.
So now that the video is out, that the video is done and some of the kids have seen the video, has that video spawned other kids to want to be in the next couple of videos?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They definitely, I have them wanting to sing. A lot of people are coming out singing. We do vocal lessons, professional vocal lessons for the kids. We prep them for each video. Okay.
That's excellent.
We prep them.
So the principals of the schools that you mentioned were Seco, Valencia, and Saugus. Are any of them in the video? What are their feedback? Because that's important.
They were in the making of the video. You'll actually see them on clips of at the premiere and whatever. But we would have loved to throw some of them in the video at a World Seco. That's where we shot it at. But at that time, when we were, I think that was a staff development day, and they were not available.
Yes, I met the principal at Aurora Seco at the red carpet event, and I thought she was very nice. She was very pleased with your work. So you and your family, you wrote the music, or you had professionals write it, or did you write it yourself?
No, I wrote the music. I'm a writer, and we had a...
Is this your first video and your first song that you've written?
It's my first video, not my first song that I've written.
I'm sure you have an arsenal of songs.
Other songs, but
that's
not...
another show. She'll have to come back and tell us about her show, the Christal Johnson Show. Okay. So how did it feel when you wrote it? Who did you have in mind? Your kids, all kids in general?
I just look at the issues today of how kids are acting towards their parents.
What are the biggest issues?
Talking back, being disrespectful. They can't learn in the classroom because you have class clowns all over the place. To where
I know, you do,
and it's just out of control. We laugh about it and we joke about it, but it's a part of us really that is very serious. It's a bad problem.
Sad because as a parent, you raise your child and your child is home for 5 years before they start kindergarten, and then you send them to school, and your child is with you 5 days, 5 years. You send them to school a couple of weeks, and they come back crazy. Like, are you tripping?
Exactly.
Did you forget who mother was?
Exactly. They always
It just
pick
takes
up the
one
negative.
kid.
That's
It just
right.
takes one kid to turn your head, to turn their head, and you're thinking, wait a minute, there's something wrong here.
Right.
I need to be combative. I need to talk to the teacher. I need to talk to the other mother. What's going on here? Because I know with myself, I'll put my kids in some different organizations, and there may be one kid who does things, and when we get in the car, I'm like, okay, what did that little boy do that you shouldn't do? Okay, as long as you know that. Because, mommy, he was talking back, he was doing. I said, okay, as long as you know that. Because I think once you get into that power struggle with the trigger, that's when you lose your control.
Right.
And as a parent to young children, you should have more authority and more power. And as they get older, your power decreases, but not so that that you just give it all away. Right. It decreases because they're getting older and they have a mind of their own, and they can be able to discuss things with you.
Right.
So that it comes across like, I'm talking to my child who's not 7, but my child who may be 10, or my child may be 14 or 16. So it just changes.
Right.
But when it changes, sometimes those changes can be very difficult when they're teenagers. I'm not dealing with teenagers, so I wouldn't know, but you're the expert on that one for me.
Well, you just wait, because it gets more difficult.
She's like, just wait. Okay, you're going to get yours.
It gets, even if you have good children, it is so challenging raising kids in this day and time.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
It really is. It's just almost just like you're doing the best that you can by, parents are working, trying to make a living. Both parents now today have to almost work.
You have to.
And so your kids are more or less like they're left alone a lot. And
latchkey kids.
And you just, as a parent, you just cannot stop from raising them.
No.
I think what happens with the good parents, and even the parents that are trying even harder, they're tired when they get home, and they just don't want to. This child just got finished smart talking to them, and they just let it go. And then as they let it go, it escalates and escalates.
You got to nip it in the bud the first time.
Immediately. It's a hard job, but you got to keep it going.
Time.
Absolutely.
I learned a very important lesson from my own mother. She had said to me, when she was a kid, this girl would always bother her, and she would never say anything to the girl. And her cousin was like, you need to say something, because if you say something the first time, she'll leave you alone. She never did. But the one time she did, she socked the girl. The girl never brought it again. So to me, that was saying to me that, somebody said something to me and I like it. I need to let them know the first time, because if you don't, it'll keep going on and on and on. It becomes a terrible cycle, and that's where you have bullies. You have bullies, they'll do something the first time. You may be afraid, but take that fear and move through that fear. Just stop it the first time, because if you don't, it just can go on and on and on and on. And I think, do you think being in Santa Cruz, being with the kids in your video, do you think that bullying is a problem here?
Bullying is a terrible, terrible problem. My son has been a victim of that many, many times, because his thing is that he doesn't want to get kicked out of school, because he would fight.
Yeah.
And I think he would hurt somebody, if he let loose on someone, but he does not want that record behind him of getting, expelled or suspended from school. So he has to deal with a lot of challenges with the bullying. It's really terrible.
Now, what about the cultural differences? We are here in Santa Clarita, and it is predominantly a white community, although there's a lot of minorities moving in now.
Right,
we have Asians, African American, Hispanics. It's starting to be more of a melting pot now than it was, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So how is that affecting the whole Listen program? Do you think that, I know that when you try to teach kids to listen and you teach them tell them what to do and how to do it, we all know now that, someone being racist or just being negative because of the way someone looks, what they wear, how they wear it, what color skin they are, all of these things build up to, it's learned. Because when you go to the playground and you see kids of all different colors and shapes, they're playing and have a good time. So we know that's learned. So as they get older into the school system, it gets worse. It becomes bullying. It becomes, I don't like them because this, I don't like them because of that. How did that play a part in what you're doing now with these kids?
We taught that. We definitely have a mixed culture. You'll see it.
So you're teaching tolerance.
Absolutely, and we do teach that everybody has an equal chance, no matter what you look like, no matter where you came from. There is a couple of issues that we've had, even within our program, that I've had to teach these kids that no matter how they look, where they came from, or whatever, they have the same chance for you to be in the video as they're in it. You know, it just doesn't matter. But we do deal with racial issues wherever we go in America.
Yeah, it's not just in Santa Cruz, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
But I was just localizing it because we were talking about your program.
Absolutely.
But I do know it's everywhere, and I do know it's a learned thing. And it's sad. It's really sad that we have so many different incidents of, you know, kids having problems because someone's a different race or different color. And you're thinking, all of that stuff happened so many years ago. Years and years and years. Yeah, it's like the only thing you know is what you learned from your history book and what your mother told you.
Right.
So if you didn't get it right from what your teacher said, then I know someone gave you the wrong information. It's sad. My son was playing a sport. He was playing soccer, and my oldest son was in the park, and he was just playing. And he didn't mention this, but when we got home later on that day, he said, "Mommy, there was a girl in the tree, and she said, I can't play with you because you're dark." Oh, it cut me up one way and down the other. And my son is 7. And I was just so shocked. And I was just like, how come you didn't tell me that? You know, and I had saw a girl in the tree. They said it was girls. I saw the girl in the tree, but it just cut me up one way. And I'm like, oh, you know, when you're in a minority group, you have to have that conversation. You have to sit your child down and tell them, well, this is who we are and this is how people treat us. And it's sad that you have to have that talk. It's like saying you have to have this sex talk. And, you know, we all have to have the sex talk. But I'm sure other races aren't saying, you know, we have to have the race talk.
Right.
And we have to have the race talk.
We do.
And you have to
absolutely
cater yourself. Okay, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say this. I'm not going to say that.
We do, but that deals with ignorance. It really does.
I know.
And I feel that because I was raised in a predominantly Caucasian area, that I wasn't taught racism.
Exactly.
I didn't really experience it until I had to go out into the world, to go to school or whatever. And I didn't teach my children that. But there are a lot of parents that I do have to stick up for some of the parents. They are not teaching their kids that. Now there are some kids that are letting it go if they hear it. But I just kind of feel that that's why we need this extended hand, to mix up the cultures, so that you need to, you know, the kids can know how to deal with different people, races, whatever the difference of them may be.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Are you planning on doing a video on races, or is it just going to be behaviors?
Well, you know, there is racism in there. If you look at the video, it's the basketball scene, and it's the same multicultural races still battling.
Oh
And
yeah,
they
your
are.
son did the rapping.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
They
I
are,
remember.
and the cultures are still battling because of the different colors or whatever culture they are, if they're not the same.
So where do you want to go from here? Where do you want to see these videos? You want to just put them in all the Santa Clarita schools, or are you just going to go with it? Go wherever God takes you, I say?
Wherever I'm supposed to go, that's where I want to go, all over, worldwide, nationwide, whatever, because it needs to be in every school system that there is, because and I want to get back on the actual thing at hand of why I did this video, is the behavior today of children is out of control. It's off the scale. And you can't, the teachers, I commend the teachers for being teachers, first of all. I really do. You know, because we need the teachers, you know.
Yes, we do.
And they did not take a degree in child behavior to raise these kids.
No.
So the parents, and I say this to the parents gently, they need to step up to the plate. And they need to be the parent they were called to be. They're held accountable for raising their children the way that they're supposed to raise them, with moral values. You know, and in this country, we were supposed to respect our parents. We're supposed to respect adults. We're supposed to respect those that are in authority over us. And it is the opposite way. The kids are running the households today.
You know, someone brought something to my attention. In some households, there are more than one language spoken, and sometimes because there's more language spoken, there's a discrepancy, because if the parent doesn't speak the dominant language that we have, our dominant language is English, then the kids are not telling them what the teacher is saying, not letting them know if they're having any problems in there? Do you think that's one of our problems about the different languages and people maybe missing, there's something missing in the communication because the parent may not be getting all the right information from the child? I mean, I know everything comes home in both languages, but they may not be getting all the information that they need because, they don't speak the language,
That's a big possibility. I never really thought of it that way. I guess, too, as I'm looking at, we're Americans.
All of us.
And we need to set the example of how the ones that are coming over this country, okay? And we should be, the Americans that have been here that speak the English native language should actually teach the kids and help teach the kids. That's what my program's for.
So what do you think it is? What is that? What is that that's festering and soaring in kids? Because when you see them in kindergarten and preschool, they're all playing together and having a good time. And then there's first grade and second grade and then third grade, and something happens in their head. They just start going buck wild.
I think it's an identity crisis. I would think that they're trying to find out who they are, and some of it comes out the wrong way. And I think that the parents do correct it, but it's just not enough. They let too much of it go for too long. And then you got this kid that comes to school and disrespect this teacher all over the place, and she can't teach and the reason why I stress that about school is because my kids have come home to me on many, many occasions, even in their elementary years, and missed a lesson because so-and-so was just cutting up all day long, and they couldn't hear anything. So I go back to saying that the parents need to be responsible for this because the teachers are not supposed to raise your child.
Your kid. So you think that, I don't know if you do this in your program, but do you have like classes or training for parents if they said the child wants to be part of video, do you set up like a contract? Like your parents need to come in, your parent need to know that this is what you're going to be involved in. This is what I'm expecting of you and your parent. Exactly. You need to show up to rehearsal. You need to show up on time. You need to be professional about it. Because if you're going to be behind, that's going to send us back. So, do you do something like that with the parents, let them know? Because the parents are the ones who are dropping kids off at activities, who are picking them up. And sometimes it is hard to try to get to this one, get to that one. You have more than one kid going to this sport, going to that sport. Do you set up some type of ground rules for the parent and for the child to follow?
What I've done at the very beginning is I've met with all the parents.
Okay.
And I tell the parents
Which is
exactly
an excellent step in the right direction.
Absolutely. What the program's about. Everybody's excited. Oh, great. Oh, they need this, whatever. But I don't get the involvement, and maybe because it's something I may need to step up to the plate about. I don't get the involvement like I should with a lot of the parents, but a lot of parents are really for this. That's why they have their children in it. But I think that I'm going to start doing a parenting class also along with this.
You should. If you, it would be great if you run them together, if
Absolutely.
the parent has to come and drop their child anyway, depending on the situation, but have them run together so this way, whatever you taught that day, they can say, well, honey, this is what she told me about, and maybe we need to work this out. Because I think some of the problem is parents are getting into a place that they can't talk to their kid anymore. This is your child. You birthed this child. You should be able to talk to your child. And if you can't, everybody nowadays has health insurance, and in the back of your health insurance, there's a number you can call and say, I need some therapy. I need some therapy. You really need to, when you feel that you're losing control and that you're not reaching your son or your daughter, that's when you need to step out of the box.
Absolutely.
And you need to ask for help.
Absolutely.
I think some parents let it go, like you said, they let it go for so long, they don't get any help, and then their child think they're running a show, and it can't be that way. Because if you can't run your own household, can you imagine him coming to school, messing up the learning process for everybody else's kid, which is not fair, and unacceptable. And teachers work too hard, and these lesson plans they have to do are so extensive for your child to come in and want to be the class clown.
Right.
It's unacceptable. Unacceptable.
I think also, too, raising your child can become a sensitive area. When you have other people that may be on the outside looking at you, how
looking
you just
at your glass house.
Exactly. and you just let this child just talk back to you and do everything else. And that parent, if they do it out in public, they're doing it in the house too.
Exactly. I've seen it in the grocery stores, in the mall. I look, and I always tell Did you see that?
Yeah.
Don't you ever do that. 'Cause
Yeah.
that is unacceptable.
Yes.
In my household,
Yes.
when I grew up, respecting my parents was the number one. If you didn't do that, you couldn't do anything.
Right.
And I tell young people when I talk to them, I said the key to getting what you want and doing what you want is doing your schoolwork and doing your chores. If you do that, if you do your chores and your schoolwork, your parents will get you anything.
Absolutely.
Because they're so pleased that you're just following the program. And then your program is until you get 18 or 21. And then when you go to college, you'll be out on your own, doing your own thing. And then they're going to realize, oh, when I was with my mother, I didn't have to pay any bills. I didn't do that. They're such in a rush to grow up just so they can get bills. It's like, you know what? Take your time. Enjoy yourself. It's so... They so want to rush. And I know when I was growing up, I was in a rush. I mean, when I was growing up, and, you know, all the girls want to say, oh, I'm 17 when you're 16 or you're 15. Nope, I'm 15 and I'm loving it. I'm not going to rush it at all. You know, I'm really glad we've had this conversation. I really hope my listeners are really listening to what we're saying, and hopefully we can be of any help to anyone. And what I want to do now is I want to go to the red carpet. She had a red carpet event, a big premiere of her Listen Up video. It was a wonderful, she had a lot of different acts there. Like I said earlier, this is a two-part show. So right now we're going to show the red carpet and different kids that talked in the video. And on part 2, that's when you meet the students that were on the video, and you'll see the premiere event of Listen Video in show number 2. So let's go roll the tape.
Years I've been going to school, tried education, making it through. Upside, downside, moving to the right side, left side, glide side, even on my backside. Motivation, a frustration. I can't hear this plain equation. I said motivation, frustration. Can't get a plain equation. Academic, not to give it plenty, so kids to mimic.
Listen. Signs of the time, you better listen.
Get signs of the time, y'all.
Truth will be told, you better listen.
Don't forget that truth.
Good choices made.
Oh yeah, that's good choice. Yeah. Here we go now. Here we go now.
All the children around the world today, crisscrossing to the different beats. Multicultural races still battling, hatred turning into bloody streets.
Hi, and welcome back to Talking with Felicia. That was just a little snippet of the red carpet event, and I want to thank Christal again for coming. And if you have any questions about anything that we said here, I really want everybody to go to my website. It's www.talkwithfelicia@aol.com. Do you have any numbers or websites you'd like anybody to contact you in your organization?
Well, if any of the parents that's watching this, if you have any kids that are inspired to act, dance, or sing, they can get professional training and be in one of the upcoming videos. And they can call me, Christal Johnson, at 661-312-7174.
Could you give that number again, please?
661-312-7174.
Also, you can also contact me to get to Christal at www.talkwithfelicia@aol.com. So please stay tuned for part 2, and that's when you'll see the students talking about what the video meant to them, what listen means to them, and what working with Miss Johnson did. They all loved her. They loved what she did and what she stands for, because it's so important for us to reach our children. We have got to reach our children now, because if we don't, we're going to lose them, and we never want to lose them. I never want to ever think that we can give up on my children. We never can give up on any of our children. We have to work hard, and really, really hard, to understand them, go where they're at. They're at texting. They love the texting. They like the computer games, but they're out there that there are videos out there and people out there that can give you help on how to reach your child. So don't ever give up on your child. Stick with them. Next time on Talking with Felicia, Christal Johnson and the entire premiere of the Listen Up video. Thank you.
was trying to get everything done before the party, the decorations and the cake and the balloons and everything. And I was rushing, Carlos was rushing like mad. And I turned around just for 1 second and there was a really loud whistle. I slammed on the brakes, the cake went flying. The train came. I was scared.
Look, listen, and live, or someone you love will get hurt.
Sweetheart, you're safe.
Hi, I'm Howie Mandel.
I'm Sally Field.
I want to introduce you to a very special place.
Lark Ranch began almost 50 years ago. It was started by a group of visionary parents who were not willing to accept institutional surroundings for their developmentally disabled children.
Lark is a unique facility with a community of individuals who are all special and contributing members not only of Lark, but of the larger community of Santa Clarita.
But they need your help to maintain this outstanding program and continue to deliver to its residents the kind of care that will help keep Lark Ranch operating for another 50 years.
Please give generously.
And let's continue the miracle of Lark.